Hello Twin Flames, this is Victoria and I'm here with your daily energy check. Let's get started. This is going to be a classic read. I'm still trying to aim for the shorter readings, at least during the week. I think I'm going to do the longer ones over the weekend where we all have more time to dive deeper into our spiritual journey, into all the dynamical tribulations of our connections with our twin flame, etc, etc. So during the week I'll stick with shorter readings, but of course remember that all the readings are timeless. So whenever you were meant, you got to see this, that's where you're meant to hear the message, right? So I'm back with the Cosmic Journey Oracle today. Let's see what we have for divine feminine, divine masculine, what's going on in the cosmos of things. Then of course we'll move to tarot, and I'll finish up today with the oracle deck with messages from the other realms, from divine masculines. Okay. And of course, if you like what I'm doing, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel. This really helps me circulate these messages with more people. Okay, we've got for divine feminine, we've got number 15. Fulfill your destiny as a cosmic change maker. Excellent. Yes. Remember yesterday we were talking about we had the hermit card, the Hierophant card for the feminine, and them stepping up in that role model position, right? This is the continuation with the change maker, and that's part of how divine feminines are role models, because of how they change things around. They don't just follow blindly, right? They don't just follow the trail. They create the new path. That is inspirational on its own. Even if people who are following you, if they are, dealing with completely different domain, right? They have nothing to do with what you do. Maybe you are a crystal healer, and they are a medium that is like, getting people messages from other realms. So they're doing Reiki or whatever else, right? They're working on YouTube, and you have a salon where you work with people, and it's a different setup. Right? Maybe you do more 3D work in teaching somebody, in a more traditional way. It doesn't really matter, and you can be teaching, of course, a variety of things. It doesn't have to be just like a spiritual, philosophical stuff. A lot of people think that that's the very narrow, limited list of things that you can do as a light worker to truly embrace that role, but it's so not true. And I think our divine masculines show that in their areas of occupation, even more so, right? Where they're making a difference, they're connecting with people, and they're sharing the knowledge in maybe less straightforward ways, but they do it. And of course there's always our public profile, there's our friends and family, social media, wherever we are out there, how we position ourselves. That on its own is like, even if you don't know it, you have an audience out there. It's a more passive audience a lot of times, but they're there, they see you, they watch you. There's so many people, even those who I know personally, who tell me constantly that there are people that they follow, they like to kind of, keep an eye on what's going on with that person, but they never actually engage. So maybe that other person doesn't even remember them anymore, or they've never met them. But this follower is actually part of their, like, it is participated in their life. It's like this, I forgot what it's called. It's like a social relationship kind of, where you're like, you have a relationship, but it's very, very specific one, where you're getting all your information from social media posts. Okay, what do we have for divine masculine? Not sure why I went that way, but I guess somebody needed to hear that. You may think that your Facebook page or Instagram profile is very casual, just for a dozen of friends, and they know you anyway, but it's not. And maybe this will get you to think about the content that you post, and how does that account represent who you are and what you're trying to say to the world? For the masculines, we have number 34. You are perfectly imperfect. Oh, I love this. Yeah, I was just actually, when I was preparing for the reading, I was getting this message in my head that, you know, by being human, we all have insecurities and fears. It's a definition of being a human on planet Earth, right? We'll never get rid of it completely. It's part of the earthly experience, right? But that's what makes us human. That's what's so great, right? It's the same thing as like our bodies, right? They create a certain flavor to who we are and how people see us. Why not this? Why not our imperfections that make us perfect? It's an interesting card. Maybe I'll actually read it. Now I'm just trying to make it a short reading, but just feel drawn to this image. We somehow want to be seen as perfect with absolutely, and that's actually, it's interesting how it's also related to our public profile versus who we are, and the social media I was just talking about, right? Where we are creating an image on social media that is oftentimes it doesn't really reflect who we are, what we believe in, what we like and don't like, and stuff like that. We somehow want to be seen as perfect with absolutely no defects, holes, or scars, but those imperfections make you more beautiful rather than less. They give you more empathy, and more strength to face anything. When your heart is cracked wide open, the light finds its way in. That's how the sun of our soul can flow into our lives. Crack wide open. Your pain has meaning. Your sorrow has held tremendous significance beyond what you may have considered already. Embrace it all, because your healed wounds become the medicine our world desperately needs now. Yes, that's what we talk about, where our weaknesses become our strengths. Okay, let's get to tarot now. Let's see what's going on with Divine Feminine. Yeah, baby. We got the Page of Swords. It's a she in this card, really, so yeah, the Sword of Truth. What about Divine Masculine? Wow, a lot of cards. Okay, we'll take them. What's happening with the connection at this point? Wow, 10 of Wands. All right, I'll pull some clarifiers here. Let's clarify Page of Swords. Okay. Please clarify. And here we have King of Cups, 5 of Pentacles, 2 of Pentacles, 5 of Wands. A lot of 5s and 2s. And 3s. But 3 and 2 makes a 5. Okay. Alright. Please clarify 10 of Wands. Okay. Queen of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. The main deck had Chariot on the bottom. Yeah, so definitely the theme continues around fulfilling your destiny and stepping into mission. And I think it's largely kind of encouraged and accelerated because of all the cosmic events and astrological events that we've been talking about. And yes, I'm gonna do a reading. Probably it's gonna be around weekend. I'll do a reading for the planetary conjunction on the 27th. I'll do one for the partial solstice on the 30th. We also or actually just as I'm recording this, we just basically stepped into the Taurus season, which is about grounding our, like, you know, if you think of your soul passion and desires and thoughts and feelings as something more ethereal, right? Then Taurus is asking you to ground that into something practical. And that's where we have the Queen of Pentacles, the underlying energy, right? And the same way with Chariot, it's actually taking things forward, right? It's not just sitting with it daydreaming. It's taking action. It's moving things along. I think it's very healthy energy. It's just that the twins kind of need to connect those downloads, that knowledge and experience that they have, with how it's going to relate to their day-to-day lifestyle, to their mission, because day-to-day lifestyle is a big part of it as well, and that's how we ground it too, with our big and small practices, right? And how we conduct ourselves with others, what we do for our own mind, soul, and body, etc., etc. Okay, so for Divine Feminine, we have Page of Swords clarified by Death and Three of Wands. Yeah, so what I'm getting here is that this is a kind of a new spiral, where like a more ascended version of Divine Feminine, where, you know, with all this rebirth energy, and even with the page, where the intention is to bring more authenticity and more honesty in communication with other people. It refers to the masculine. It also refers to everybody else around. I mean the closer circle of people, right? Not like somebody who you meet once a year, or I don't know, the cashier at the local supermarket who you don't really interact with at all, right? I'm talking about people who you have meaningful communication with. And this is really important as an intention, because you see the Three of Wands, it's an intention, it's like a decision, really. It's a decision to take steps and actually make it better, make it more like higher quality interaction. And Divine with this huge sword, look how huge the sword is. It doesn't even fit, and she can barely hold it. The sword of truth, right? It's the intention of that honesty and transparency and being yourself is so strong that it's like Divine Feminine is at that point where it's, you know, you either follow my lead and you are just as transparent and honest, and you respect me for that, or maybe, you know, it's time to let go, to let each other go, and, you know, let it be. For the masculine, we have a lot of cards. So the fives here connected with the karma to me. We have King of Cups and Two of Pentacles as well. So there's a lot of karmic movement is happening for the masculines. First of all, they've been really busy, and they've been putting their feelings and emotions about what's going on, about all this stuff that's going on in their life, on the back burner. So they've been basically almost consciously trying not to think about it, because they knew that there is a lot of burden there, and we'll get to that in a moment. And like, it's not gonna be easy. It's just gonna make them, it's gonna discourage them from moving forward, or from keeping good spirits, putting a good face on, right? Which is what they are doing here. But it's getting more and more difficult with all these other energies that are disturbing the harmony. They're trying to stay in the King of Cups energy, but essentially it means that they're not connected with their feelings, with what is going on inside. And inside is kind of crazy. It's not all that bad. A lot of it is just bubbling emotions that need some sort of release. And if they're just kind of, you shut them up, they become more of an issue. Even if you don't realize it, they could be, and we see here with the Nine of Swords, could be problems with sleep, right? Divine masculines can be irritable with other people. They still, there is two sides to this, a shadow side and a light side to this process. So on the one hand, this bubble is gonna burst at some point. It's already kind of like boiling, when you have a boiling water in a pot with a closed lid, and it's kind of starts jumping. It's jumping already. It's making them uncomfortable. On the other hand, it's helping them see what is a loving experience versus not loving. So they're not really dealing very well with the negative stuff at the moment, but at least they are differentiating of what works and what doesn't work and why. And that's an important one, because a lot of them previously kind of considered those limiting and even frustrating experiences as something good, just because it's supposed to be good. That's what it looks like on the surface, or maybe that's what the other person thinks, so I have to go along with it, and now they don't. And if the other person enjoys it a lot, the way things are, if I'm not enjoying, that's a problem, right? So they're starting to see things that way, and that's a big win. And yeah, even with these imperfections, right? So they were, yeah, I'm getting for a lot of them, they were putting up with a lot of BS around them because they were thinking that it's their problem, or maybe they're not, they cannot enjoy it or appreciate it because it's their imperfections. But now they actually see that that's what makes it all special, and it's valid, right? All of their feelings and emotions are valid. For the connection space, we have 10 of Wands clarified my 9 of Cups in reverse. Yeah, so the twins are letting go of certain beliefs and patterns that have been dragging them down and not letting them move forward with what they truly want, what they really desire, right? It's been a drag, it's been delaying the progress for them. And, you know, taking a closer look, I'm getting that this was not even that difficult to let go. Like, it was, I'm trying to find the words, it was easy things, little things, right? Like maybe I was, you know, paying a visit to this someone every month, and this was on my calendar, and I was doing it by default, but it's not the experience I had before, right? So it's time to let it go and save myself some time, right? Or, I don't know, I was spending money on some subscriptions that I no longer need or use, and I'm looking through maybe I've revisited, you know, my transactions for the month, and I'm like, well, why am I paying money to like here, and there, right? I'm gonna cancel this. And that's energy as well. It may not seem like that, but it really is, right? Maybe you optimize the way you do household chores, or maybe something at work where you don't have to do extra amount of busy work or extra sets of communications with someone to get to the result that you want. But it all counts because it frees up energy for something better. Okay, last but not least, the messages from divine masculines to divine feminines. What would they like to tell us, feminines? Okay, so we got, I need to love me first, then I can love you. And we see this was this process of them recognizing what works, what doesn't, and the perfect imperfections. I feel lost and lonely without you. Yay. Children and family issues are a factor. Yes, so that's the karmic stuff that we saw, that the BS that's brought by other people, right? And we say friends and family, like it could be anyone really that's relatively close to them. And I'm scared you don't love me as much as I love you. Okay, I hope this was a good note to finish the reading. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys, and I'll be back with more readings for you very, very soon.